For today is career opportunities in information security. Before starting on what exactly are the career opportunities in information security, I just wanted to walk you all through how the opportunities actually help me to be where I am today. So let me just move to the next slide. So I started my career as a developer. So when I started my career, cryptography was the first domain which I was given an opportunity to work on. And so within cryptography, when we talk about the areas, there are a lot of opportunities to work. So cryptography is something that was there in the past. It is very much needed at this current era and is something that will definitely be needed in the future as well. So I'm happy that I got an opportunity to work in the cryptography area, specifically on the PKI, because that becomes kind of basis to understand what is encryption, decryption, and symmetric, asymmetric encryption, which is applied in every aspects of security that you can think of. From there on, as a developer who is focused on delivering a certain specific task, got an opportunity to be an engineer where you can design things, you can think through on what else can be done, and have an opportunity to integrate various systems as well. So that is where I got to learn on web services security, and I feel that that is something that is very relevant to the current way of development areas as well. So everything is on REST based now, and every application or an offering or a product that is available within the security domain exposes their APIs as a JSON service or a REST API, and that should be used for exchanging information or interacting with other services. I also got an opportunity to work on identity and access management area, and that is very wide. If we just talk about an identity, starting from how an accounts get created, what are the various phases of life cycle of an account, what applications are there, what kind of access management is needed. Is it related to an individual accessing an application? Can it be even more fine grained and define access management? Is the access management related to an application? Is it to a system? Is it for an operating system? Is it for an access management at a campus level? So those are the various things I got to learn and work on, and that also kind of became a foundation in what I have an opportunity to work on as of now. From then, I moved on to a security senior engineer role, wherein I got an opportunity to work as a security analyst, and with specific to analytics part, I think we know that data is the key. So we have data everywhere. We got to know how to use the data, what to make best use of data, how to present the data, how to arrive at metrics which will be helpful for us to make useful actions out of it. And that was a useful experience for me. And then security incident and event management. So we get this was mostly related to collecting logs from various applications and understanding what is the data that we are getting, understanding the traceability of it, correlating the events, and arriving at security investigations. And I also had an opportunity to understand the risk management domain itself. So that itself is huge. When we talk about risk management, there are various areas, including the compliance-based assessments, internal audits, security-specific regulatory audits, organization-specific scheduled audits, compliance checks, those kinds of things. As a manager, I also had an opportunity to manage teams who help doing various work at the ground level. So, for example, compliance management and network security, development teams, and training and awareness. So, usually, when we talk about career, you don't feel that training and awareness is something that would be as an information security career as well. But in my role as a manager, I realized that that is one of the most important areas which will help you to share or spread message to various other organization members and it is also a key part of any enterprise security needs. Then, as of now, I think I have an opportunity to look into various areas within the information security that could be related to network security or the development and the engineering aspects or application security, risk management, and security operations. So this is kind of what helped me to grow my career over a period of time, understanding various domains within the security, and also helping myself in relating what I learned in my previous experience and applying the same in the opportunities I got to explore and work. So I'm not sure what are the career levels, at what phase of your career are each of you who have joined this session. But at a very broad level, I think anyone who wants to start a career within information security domain would have these basic options to start with. So first one is security development. That is how I started. But I know that many of you would have landed into the security domain through various other areas. And among them, most of it, I am thinking that would be somewhere who have done penetration testing. It could be either on the mobile or web or hardware. So that kind of a background. So, looking at various options, so security development, as I talked about, would involve you to understand the various programming languages, the applying those programming skills in developing a security solution or a product or a service that will be consumed either within your organization, or if it is in a product development mode, it is offered to other organizations to consume. Whatever could be the way the development skills are used within the security domain, I would say that as a career option, that is a very strong option to choose. Because if you talk about security domain with development skills, that forms kind of a very niche area. There are not many, I would say, developers who are skilled very well in the security domain as well as are hands-on and having the development skills. So that is one of the options that most of you can start. And there are tons of opportunities ahead once you start taking that as the career path. The next one is to become an architect. So this may not happen as you start your career. I think there is a learning that should go behind in order to understand what would it take to architect a solution, or what would it take to ensure that the solution that you are building is scalable, will work for many scenarios, can cater to the needs, meet the expectations with respect to the performance, response times, can integrate well with other systems that are in scope. So those kinds of things. So to start with, if you are looking for an opportunity to become a security architect, I think ground up, you should also start focusing on areas within the architecture related domain. So I think TOGAF is one very good certification that is available in the industry that will help you to understand what would it mean to become an enterprise architect. What are the various things that you should consider or know if you are choosing to be an architect over a period of time in your career. The next one is an analyst kind of a role. There's a quick poll, so I assume that most of you will take that quick poll. For example, when we look at the analyst role, this is something that you can start off as a career. This would involve analyzing the data that comes to your plate. It could be from various sources that are there in the organization, and you analyze, you apply security based derivatives out of it, and figure out how you can actually use the data that you get through the analysis in the specific function. So that is a good option to start. I believe that most of the engineers who want to either do the penetration testing or the development may not choose this if the person is not specifically from an engineering background and would like to get started with an analysis and has some skills with dealing with data like machine learning. That is something that they can start with, wherein you have huge data, you start analyzing, you understand what are the key metrics that are needed. Based on that, come back, refer to your data, and try to derive metrics out of it. That is something that you could do. It could also be a profile which would involve analyzing data related to investigations, incident management, those kinds of things as well. The next one is as an investigator. I think this is a completely different profile from a developer or a tester. So the investigators should have a keen mindset to understand or go back and figure out what happened yesterday or what happened few hours back. That kind of a thing is something that investigators would do, and this would require a different mindset. And that is also there are a lot of opportunities for investigators, because as you know, the crime with respect to specifically on the cybercrime, I think that is increasing over a period of time, and many organizations would not know even if they are breached. So having a capability who can do the investigations and find out what went wrong is also a key skill, and there are many opportunities to explore in that area, and the number of people who are skilled in that is, I would say, very niche, very small. Network engineering. So obviously, any IT infrastructure you take, there are a number of network services, solutions, or tools that needs to get deployed, and everything have to be with network. At the bottom line, because we are all based on TCP/IP, we should be able to understand what is TCP, what is IP, how the protocols work. And network engineers are the one who will help us to configure the firewalls, IPS, VPN, you name it, any of the security devices. So that's another career path that can be taken. When we look at the network engineering aspects, I think recently there is software-based networking that is coming into play. And there, the skills of a network engineering mindset along with the development skills is something that is going to add value. Penetration testers are most, I would say, needed. So a line of code written will have a bug, either introduced by a developer who is writing a code, or it could be within the platform that is being used to write the code. So testing is something very key, whether it is a mobile application or a web application, or it could be a hardware itself. So you never know where the vulnerability is. Someone who can think through the exploit and get into the root is someone very much needed in any organization, and that is also a great career path to choose. And the last one is research. Every field, irrespective of whether it is an information security field or another field, would have a need to do the research and identify areas that is not possible to explore within a limited scope of work that is done on a regular basis. So it would need a dedicated mind, it would need a dedicated resource, it would need dedicated scope of things to research, go in depth, and arrive at the solution. And I think a research that is done in such way will be used by other community members as well. So these are some of the things that are options that are available within the information security domain. No matter what you choose, I think ultimately what you need to aim is to be one of the following that you see on the right hand side. So be a subject matter expert. So irrespective of you choose penetration testing, want to be a network engineer, or you want to do a research, or you want to be a developer, no matter what you choose as your career in the information security domain, you got to be a subject matter expert. That means that there should be some skill that is only available with you, and people will actually look out for you to get the guidance. They will look out for you to help them out to resolve issues. They look out for you to get guidance on what needs to be done when a situation arises or a challenge comes in or an issue is seen. So that is what you should aim, irrespective of where you start your career in any of the options that are available within the information security domain. Of course, once you are a subject matter expert, then you can choose to either remain within the technical area or move on to the management scope of things. Even if you be aligning yourself into the management area, I think it is still important that you be a subject matter expert. So I think the trend is gone wherein you are just a people manager within the information security domain, and that should help you to um, sail through. I think those times are gone. So even if you are in a management position, it is very important for you to know the subject in depth, understand what's happening, to infer things and guide the team in the right direction. So that is one thing that you should all keep in mind as you move up your career ladder, irrespective of your choosing technical or management stream. You have to be expert in what you are interested in, and what is that will motivate you to continue your career. And the ultimate aim within a security, I would say, domain is to become a CISO or a CSO, Chief Security Officer. And as a CISO or a Chief Security, as CISO is Chief Information Security Officer, I think CSO is just another name. The the entire organization security needs is responsibility that a CISO or a CISO or a CSO would handle. So it is even more important that the CISO would know various streams that are there as part of an organization specific information security initiative, and is able to understand what's happening on a daily basis, is able to come up with an objectives that is going to help the organization meet its business needs, as well as protect it from various threats and vulnerabilities. So that would be something that you can choose as your career path at a later point in your career. But these are various options that you have to start your career and continue in that career for some time. So there are a lot of references available in the internet where you can go and see and understand what are the top careers that are available, and what is the best that may choose your interest. But I was looking for a document from the NIST, and this is something that I thought is very useful that I should share with all of you. It is from the NIST, which has a detailed information on the information security workforce areas. So what are the various opportunities that are there? So if you talk about an architect kind of a profile, so what should be the architect? Is he a systems architect? Is he an application architect? And what are the differences between those things? So it has to the details on what are the various tasks and activities that are involved within each of the profiles. So I highly recommend you to have a look at the NIST specification and identify areas that would actually interest you and help you to build your career path. So with that, I'll close on what I want to convey to all of you in this session. So